You feel that? It's the Euros fever. Italy, Iceland, Italy again, Portugal, Romania, oh God, Germany. It's just non-stop pain. 30 years of Virtus turning to 60. But this is where it ends, right? This is where it ends. We're not Scotland. We're not Wales. We've not got 0-0 wins against England on us board. We want to win something, and it starts here. And this is how we line up to do it. And naturally, we're going to start with keepers, aren't we? So, Dean Henderson, Jordan Pickford and Aaron Ramsdale. And also Tom Eaton, who's gone as a coach, who I would probably start in front of Ramsdale anyway, to be completely honest with you. But it's not even a competition for number one, this is it. Jordan's in net. He's never put a foot wrong for England. I feel like people have been waiting for him to drop a clanger for years now. And they're still waiting. He's very consistent. He's very solid. He's a top man. He's 100% starting it now. And we're going to play for it back realistically. Like, on paper, how people would look at this, it'd look like a 4-2-3-1. So, right to left, we'll start with right backs that we've got as options. There's Trent, Joe Gomez, Konza, Trippier and Walker that can all play there. Now, Trent is fantastic on ball. He's definitely the most creative outlet that we've got from a defensive point of view that could start in back four. It could probably recreate that Beckham ad where he's on beach and he's pinging ball into bin 50 yards away. And it can be a bit of a lazy argument, I think, sometimes to just say, oh, Trent can't defend, Trent is crap at defending. Which obviously in case I wouldn't be starting week in, week out for Liverpool. He wouldn't have won every trophy there is to win at club level if he couldn't defend. But it's all relative, innit? Like, obviously Trent can defend overall, but compared to someone like Walker, he's crap. It's as simple as that. I would not start him at right back. Gomez, he can play across all back four, can't he? And it's useful to have. He's like a manager's dream, and he takes somebody like that can play across full back four like that. Konza's had a great season. Trippier had a great season as well, up until he got injured. But Walker's the best right back alive, man. Walker is the best right back on this planet. Last couple of months he's not been that good. I thought FA Cup final as well, it was shit, to be quite honest with you. But if we come up against a proper side, like a Spain, a Germany, a Portugal, most importantly, a France, I want someone who can lock down someone of the calibre of Mbappe. I want someone who can win the 1v1 battle with a winger. And I think from a right-back's perspective, that is Kyle Walker. So he starts for me. Centre-halves, let's not even kid ourselves. Who gets the privilege to play next to the best to ever do it in our John? We have got Dunk, Gomez again, Guehi and Konza who can all do a job. Now, and sadly, we've got no Mags, like RIP. It's criminal the way that he gets treated for England because he's constantly been brilliant for us in every tournament that he's played. Him and John are just brothers in arms, aren't they? They've had such a solid partnership that were made in Basel, both from coming through here. You heard me, Sheffield United fans. And it's going to be a real miss that he's not here. We're definitely a worse team without him. And if his replacement is Lewis Dunk, then I won't even bother unpacking. I won't even get my sun cream out. What is the point? So, Dunk's a big fat no. Gomez, I wouldn't start. I'd have him on bench Gomez to be able to come on and fill in anywhere if he's needed, which is what... He's not daft, is he, Gomez? He knows that's what his job's going to be at this tournament. He's not going to be a starter. If somebody pulls up or needs a rest to get injured or anything, when we're winning heavily, it's Joe Gomez time. But he's not going to start. It's between Guehi and Konza, and I'm starting Guehi. And I'm very aware that he's been injured from February to like May. He's only played 5 games, I think, since he's come back. He's only started 3, but that included a 5-0 win against Aston Villa, a 3-0 win for England against Bosnia, and a 1-0 loss to Iceland. Where, to be honest, I thought Guehi, Gordon and Trent were his only good players in that loss. He is our best centre-back option after Maguire got injured. And yeah, you can question whether Branthwaite should have gone. But in fact, well, it wasn't a question, Maury. Branthwaite should have gone. It's a question whether Branthwaite would have maybe started over Guehi, but I don't think he would have. I think Guehi is probably the 3rd best centre-back that England have got. Guehi is an animal. And I think him and John will work well together. I do. I think they'll be a good partnership, them two. So they are my centre-halves. John and Guehi. But left-backs, who can play here? Joe Gomez is here again. Luke Shaw and Trippier. And you can flirt with Trent all you want, being left back in fairyland over there. But over here in real world, we're not playing with that bullshit. Trent is not a left back. He never has been and never will be. Gomez, like I've said twice now, he's not going to start, but he's blessed at being able to play everywhere. And so I've just got to talk about him for every position, apparently. If Shaw is fit, then Shaw is starting. It is as simple as that. He's such an attacking threat down that left-hand side. His ability to find a man is probably 2nd best in squad behind Trent. He's obviously a goal threat, as we saw from last Euros as well, when he put us up 1-0 at first minute, where all his lives peaked. And then a certain man in a waistcoat ruined it all. He's just a unit. He's such a good player. He's constantly brilliant for England. Like, a lot of these lads are. Trippier's been good as well. Trippier's always good for England. But if Shaw is fit, then I'm afraid it's not close. Shaw is starting. Like a good, solid back four that's all comfortable with each other. Wins your things. A back 5 if you include Pickford. And 4 out of these 5 lads were involved in every knockout game at last Euros that saw us get to final and lose to Italy. Like, you don't change a winning team And more importantly, you don't change a winning defence unless you have to. Which is why the only change that I would make from this is Guehi for Maguire, only because Maguire's injured. So that is my defence. Now, into midfield options, we have got Joe Gomez, Trent, Gallagher, Mainu, Rice, Wharton, and Jude, who can all play deeper in a 2, which is realistically what it's going to be. We'll look at who can sit in front of these in 10 in a minute, but this is the likely formation and probably the best one that we've got. And let's not take piss. Rice is definitely one of the starters. He slots right in there, and so is Jude. It's just depending on where you play Jude. Jude and Rice are definitely 2 of the 3 midfielders that will start. It's just where do you want to play Bellingham? And you can start him next to Rice. Like, you can put the shackles on him a bit to try and benefit team. Have him a bit deeper, more defensive responsibilities. But I just think that's a waste, to be honest with you. I've been saying this since summer when he moved to Madrid. If you are good enough to be the 10 for Real Madrid, you're good enough to start for the biggest team in the world, to be one of the best players for the best team in the world, to win Champions League, to win La Liga in your first year, you're definitely good enough to play there for England. There's no doubt about that. You should be starting there for England. And it's not that he's not capable of playing there a bit deeper next to Rice. He can play everywhere. He can do everything as a midfielder. I remember watching him for Birmingham against Basel when he came on a Tuesday night, I think, and he was playing right mid. So he's got the capabilities to play anywhere across midfield. But to get the best out of him, I would start further up. So I would not start him here next to Rice. Gallagher has had a good year as well. He gets a lot of unnecessary stick, I think, to be honest. I feel like Gallagher, Palmer and Caicedo have all been quite good for Chelsea this season. But I don't mean anything. I still wouldn't start him for England. Just because he's been good for a shit Chelsea team, don't mean I started for England. Trent, lazy argument again, but I mean it. He has not played there enough. He's not played there enough. When we play Serbia and Denmark and whoever other one is in group, when we get 9 points, happy days. Stick him in there against semi-pro sides. But when we come up against a strong, dominating midfield, somebody like, off the top of my head, Spain, game over. Absolutely no chance. We will get slapped with Trent in midfield against a proper side like that. Trent is someone that at this tournament, I would bring off bench in probably all of the games, to be honest. Especially for chasing a game and we need a goal, I would bring him on. But I wouldn't start him. I think the main competition for who starts next to Rice is either Mainu or Wharton. I generally think it's between these two. And I'm not about shoehorning players into certain position because of who they are. I can play deeper next to Rice, but he's better further up. And again, that's not me taking away from what Jude is. Jude is like a Gerrard. He's literally like a modern day Gerrard, a box to box that can do a bit of everything. But Mainu and Wharton have got completely different skill sets that I think make them better holding midfielders. Get Jude where he can make an impact further up pitch like he does at Madrid. That's why I'm saying it, simple as that. Mainu, there's doubts over him because he's quite small, and although that is true, he's got the highest dual win percentage out of all Man United midfielders this season. So even though he's smaller in stature, he's still putting him centre back and he's winning a lot of his battles. His passing range is brilliant, and people can talk about him being inexperienced. He might not be able to handle pressure playing for his country, but he plays for the biggest team in this country every week at the age that he is, and it's the worst performing Man United team that's ever happened in Premier League. I think this is the worst finish since 80s. And not due to him being crap. That's not the point I'm trying to make here, that he's a bad footballer and he's playing for the worst Man United team ever. I'm trying to make the point of, if you can handle the media shit that you would get for playing for one of the biggest teams in the world, for playing for the biggest team in the country and being this crap with the scrutiny that Man United players get, then you can definitely handle it playing for England. And he can definitely offer a little bit more threat going forward than Wharton can. But if you start Wharton as opposed to Mainu, that means that Wharton is probably going to be the deepest midfielder out of the ones that we've got, so you can maybe push Rice a little bit further up and see a bit more out of him. Whereas Mainu would be just slightly in front of Rice more as an 8. And I've said this before about Wharton, I've been saying it since we were at Blackburn. He looks Spanish. It looks like he should be Spanish. Not physically, because he's got a skin and he looks like a disintegrated sun. But he's the most simple but effective footballer that England have had since Carrick. And he's only profile player that we've got that's like this. He never ever does anything flash. Ever. He never looks like a goal threat, but he wins ball back and passes it forwards quickly. And that is what we need. That's what England are crying out for in tournaments when teams start to defend in numbers against us. You want somebody who can break lines and fast. And that is why my midfield partner starting next to Rice, despite having one international cap against Bosnia for half an hour, is Adam Wharton. I'm genuinely starting him. And again, you can maybe say, oh, well, he's not started, he's not got the experience, will he adapt quick enough? He's gone from getting his first professional appearance for Blackburn this season, moving to Premier League in January. Very good side in what Crystal Palace have turned out to be. To then going into England team against Bosnia and being one of the best players on pitch. I think he'll be alright. Now, into 10 to just sit in front of Wharton and Rice. There's Jude, Eze, Foden and Palmer that can all play there. And that is a serious selection of players. That's 3 at best individual seasons in the world there as well. But off of everything I've just said, it's obviously Jude. Jude is starting. If we go to right wing, we have got Bowen, Palmer, and Saka. Bowen is there as a backup. There'll be no confusion there. And Palmer has had a brilliant season. Palmer's had a very, very good season. Him and Foden, I think, have had the best 2 seasons in Premier League altogether. But Saka is England's best right winger. End of. It is not honestly even worth entertaining or speaking about it. If Saka's fit, Saka starts. Simple as. Same as Shaw, same as Walker, same as all of these boys. If they're fit, there's no competition there. And if we go off left, there's Eze, Foden, and Gordon. You could probably put like both wingers on both sides, a lot of these lads, but I'm just making it easy, do you know what I mean? And if there's ever a world where Phil Foden doesn't start for England, then we must have best international team of all time. We must win every competition back to back to back to back forever, because Foden is that good. And yes, I agree before you say it. Foden's best position is down middle. I completely agree. But so is Jude's, and there's not as much of a gap in quality between Foden down middle and Foden up left. It's both very, very good. Not much difference between both. Whereas Jude in 10 to Jude in 8, I think it's a crazy difference. Like, and that's not because he's that bad there. He's still very good there, but he's different animal up here. So I would start Phil Foden at left. And then strikers, I mean, we've got a couple out, but it's just getting it, so it's not even worth saying. And that is the 11. That is the 11. So to look at it on paper, Pickford in net, back four of Walker, Stones, Mark Guehi and Shaw. Rice and Wharton sat in front to him, Bellingham in 10, Foden off left, Saka off right, and Kane up front. And this isn't as exciting as maybe saying, right, we'll start Bellingham there, we'll put Foden down middle, we'll stick a new winger on left. We'll get rid of Wharton, we'll put Gordon on left, for example. We'll go for it a little bit more. But that doesn't win your tournaments, does it? Like, attack wins your games, but defence wins your tournaments, as one of the greatest managers ever once said. That's how Italy won Euros last time out. They conceded 1 goal at a max in every game. They never conceded more than 1 goal per game. That's what Southgate's relied on for years now. That's what you'd expect when the manager that we've got used to be a defender. That's what we should rely on as England if we want to try and win this tournament, is defensive solidity. Now, on ball, we're obviously going to set up a little bit more like this, where Foden might tuck in a little bit more, Shaw probably overlap, Rice, Wharton up there, and then it might go to a little bit more of a 3-2 in build-up like this. We might build up like this when we're absolutely slapping teams start to finish. Because if you start Foden at left, then he's going to naturally drift into middle anyway, which is what he likes to do. So him and Jude will both be quite central, with Wharton up pitch, who's apparently the only player that can get it on half turn quite quickly and pass it forward into two of best players in the world at finding space in final third, which is Foden and Bellingham. I think that this quad, this box midfield of Rice, Wharton, Bellingham and Foden, it's unmatched, I think, in terms of quality that we're going to be coming up against with teams that they've got. Then defensively, we're going to set up probably in a 4-4-2, I would imagine, with Foden on left. Who, if Foden starts on left, I feel like he's much more likely to do defensive work of tracking back and attacking fullbacks, say. He is going to get trapped by Foden, whereas some of the other wingers who are a little bit more attacking minded might not do that. Maybe Gordon tracking back as well, but I wouldn't really trust any others as much as I trust Foden to do defensive work for us. We can settle with Jude as basically like a second striker, which is used to. That's effectively the role that he's been playing at Real Madrid. He's been almost a centre forward all season, so we'll be used to that. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is how we win the Euros. We've got strength in depth. We've probably got the best crop of players that we've had for 20 odd years since Rooney, Gerrard, Lampard days. We've not got Maguire, which is the only thing that's scaring me a little bit. But we have got Sir John to lead us out, with team on his back with the nation on his back to win us. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, so much for watching. Make sure you're subscribed, but it's time to believe. It's time to get behind them lads, all right, because he's coming home. Go again!